everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Coming at you today, try to help spread some awareness about what and who I am, what I do. People have all kinds of things in their ears about all kinds of people doing this and that on the internet. And so I've been around for a little bit here, mainly doing research in regards to the law, language, how it works, its causes, its effects, things like that, processes. And so I wanted to put a little information out there, let everybody know a little bit more about me other than what's on these drama panels and everything. And greetings, everybody. We got Tribe here. We got Logical Spark, Laura, and Based Oracle so far. Greetings, everybody. And so basically, I do research on anything that has to do with life, period. Any subject out there, I don't care. I'll research it. It's one of those things that I've always been involved in, was always wanting to know about various different things. I've always had this curiosity in me. And the problem was that there were too many things in life that got me distracted from the reality, and that curiosity caused a few steps off the track here and there along my life that caused certain issues. And that's what brought me to where I'm at today. Is about 8 years ago, I finally said I'd had enough, and I put everything up. I quit my job, all the banking, all the monetary stuff, and started doing bartering trade, because they just did not want to leave me alone here locally in regards to traffic laws and trying to keep their finger on me and try to keep track of me and knowing what I'm doing. Ain't none of anybody else's business. So when I come on here 8 years ago with all my research, it's not that I'm trying to put my business out there, but that I'm trying to give people firsthand experience of what I've been through and the research that I'm doing that gives me resolution. So I wanted to come up and show you guys some things in relations to this internet, this wonderful thing called the internet that allows us a great ability to expand beyond what we normally could in our local environments. This gives us an expansive base of knowledge from every corner of the earth that we can delve into and get into those topics that we don't normally get to in our close circles. So the internet being the device that it is, we have what's called AI today that many people use to help do their research. And before we get into it, I want to go over my links to show you how I've expanded over time. Now, first of all, we'll start out. This is, if you go down to the details section, you'll see this is in my description of all my videos. And it starts out, people in government servitude can't understand normal thinking standards. It's an acronym, P.I.G.S.C.U.N.T.S. And people, if you don't like my acronyms, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. Just so you know. Doesn't understand my Democrazy. Dumb. You want to be involved in a democracy. How pathetic is that? If you don't understand the balance of a democracy is 1%. You can tip the scales with 1% change. And that tipping of the scales and 1% change can tip that scale till it empties. It's Democrazy. It's not what we should be doing, I don't believe. Cowards of words and righteous, dignified standing. People that don't want to stand up in their true personification of children of God, and they want to step back into that personage and always use that excuse that I'm just doing my job and somebody else told me to do it, instead of listening to what's true and correct in their heart. They will supersede that and say, well, somebody else gave me the authority to do this, so I'm just doing my job, with a smile on their face. It's pathetic. Cowards. Stealing with approved policy is called a swap. And then as a benefactor, that gives to the beneficiary. See, that benefactor and beneficiary, like I said, my research is into a lot of things, but mostly it's the words. As a benefactor, I am the benefactor that gives to the beneficiary. If I'm the one that gives to the beneficiary, then what exactly is the beneficiary if all it is a document with a bunch of data elements on it that I gave to it? Then that means the beneficiary is the fiction. It's the person. The benefactor is the real thing, the living soul. And if the record reflects any abandonments, then the valid claim goes to intent. If you have property of mine that you say was abandoned, you recognize that it's my property and that rightfully I should have it. So therefore, unless I abandoned it on purpose with knowing intent, then you shouldn't have your hands on it. A thing given, gifted, granted with inherent implied intent, that the thing given is actually possessed by the party of intent. This goes to the inheritance. There is no man on this earth that believes that when somebody passes away, that they pass on their belongings to anybody but their beneficiaries, their inherent heirs to that estate. There's no reason that you wouldn't do that. That's why we build up our estates, is so that we can pass it on to our heirs, not so we can leave it abandoned so the state can have it and leave our children suffering and dying. See, that's stupidity. Reason and logic already has a place for the reality. So when we miss that and give that up and start living in the fiction, that we start posing our own insanity. It's of course for free educational purposes only, not spam, deceptive, or scam. There's no content ID nor copyright claims can be made. It's not a monetized channel. See 17 U.S.C. 107. The PayPal link is for sharing a representative of value and not purchasing or selling commercial items or goods for export or import. It's simply because I get up here and I put all this information out. I show you all my sources. If you feel like you want to return something in love and exchange, you can do the PayPal link. I've had people that donate other than money. They've donated books. You want to donate a book, a good book? I'm glad to have it. There are all kinds of things. That's what the thing about barter and trade and getting out of the banking and stuff. I really don't want to do it. I don't want the PayPal link. It helps. And I only have it because other people asked me to put one up so they could help. It's not because I'm up here begging. Let's make sure we understand that. So then down here it says it shows you my PayPal link. And then my other links. Now, freedomfromgovernment.org, this is a new one. It used to be Lawful Living. But freedomfromgovernment.org is the site that you saw from James Trent Goodbody. He had a few books out and license plates. He's the one that was doing the private license plates. Well, Malika from Lawful Living purchased that and now owns that site. He still does the books, and you can still get the books from him. But on the freedomfromgovernment.org site, you can still get the books from her through Lawful Living and stuff on the site. But it's her site now. The books are still Trent's. The site's hers. and she's merged it with her lawful living site. And we'll go take a look at that here in a minute. Then, of course, there's my Facebook page, which I have actually 3 profiles on Facebook. I use this one as my main one, and I've got a couple other backups that I can always bring up if I need to. But they haven't messed with this one in years. It's been a good solid 6 years since they messed with me on Facebook at all. And then I've got a Facebook group, Hotep is the group name, and that's for discussing law and things like that. And then I've got another one, MAN, M-A-N, which is an acronym for Man All Natural, and that is for the survival techniques and homestead living, things like that, home recipes. And then I've got a profile on MeWe, and then I've got my own website itself, wordwisewarrior.art. And then the bottom one here is my email. It's wordwizard@wordwisewarrior.art. And then you go down here to the next ones. These 5 here are my YouTube profiles. The 5 main YouTube profiles that I use. Keith Little, El Perro, which is what we're on here, is I'm on El Perro, Keith Little, and Heckle-Bus as far as live streaming right now. And then I've also got Wyrd Wyzard. There is no actual content on Wyrd Wyzard yet. There will be. Haven't decided exactly how I want to do that yet. As far as etymology, I think it's going to be strictly the etymology of words. And then Paul Jr. is for like the drama scenes. That's the one that's going to be for all the psychological reviews. That's the one we do when you see me do the insanity clips and going over that on Sunday nights. That's the main purpose of Paul Jr. is the Sunday night stream that I'm going to be doing from now on. And then Heckle-Bus is for the there's this insane thing in almost every person, I believe, that we want to heckle each other, that we want to find things that we can heckle each other about. And so Heckle-Bus is just a profile that I drew up because of Illumitomy. And it really doesn't have much of a purpose except for a storyline of being able to, like a duck shedding water off a duck's back. When people come at you in this psychological metaverse here, slinging their shit, you have to understand that that's all it is. It's just bullshit. They don't even have any way of really causing any effects on this metaverse if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing and you're not going out of lines in the outside of the TOS, there's really not much these guys can do. And that's why I don't have any problem with Snafu or Illumitomy and all these people that want to be so disparaging about information that I might put out, making fun of me for supposedly the homemade stamp. They don't believe that kind of stuff. And even though you can give them firsthand proof and evidence, they don't want to believe it at all. So let's get on to the next one. I guess I got to stop this. And where is it? Ooh, I might have to pull it up again. I lost it. Okay. And so we're going to take a look at freedomfromgovernment.org. Okay, this is the site I was talking about. And it's Malika Dulce. Home. LawfulLiving.com presents Feed the Fam for those ready to learn why all food in the grocery stores is already ours for the lawful and righteous taking, and how to do so without using the Federal Reserve System. And the premise of this is merely that if you're going to use the fiat construct of the government to go into a store, then you're using a medium of exchange as an agent of the government to acquire something. It's an acquisition. And for that federal agency, you have to have contract terms and conditions in order to do so. This is saying that you can't have any food unless you act in the agent capacity. Now, I don't suggest everybody go out to the stores and start stealing off the store shelves. That's just stupid. But the premise is here that you provide for yourself. But if you can't, and there is a necessity, there is in fact a law on the doctrine of necessity that if you go into the store and you steal just what you need to survive for yourself, your food, you're not in there grabbing 3 months worth of toilet paper, for crying out loud. Then there's a doctrine of necessity you can use to avoid being prosecuted as a criminal because of the necessity for survival. And that's what we're talking about. Feed the fam. It's a matter of necessity. It's not a matter of law. Okay? So we go down to the next part. It says courses, t-shirts. There's only 2 shirts out. Plates, 2 plates, white with black print, black with white print. There's 3 books. And again, these are the books that James Trent Goodbody wrote. Freedom from Government. And we'll take a look at those. There's 2 others. And then there's consultations and all access. These are groups. I don't know why she got the arrow. There's only six things up here for the collection. So let's take a look at the courses. Come on. Well, we'll do it here then. Classes up here. Classes. When I talk about people making fun of me about homemade stamps, and I tell you there's other people doing it. Frankenmail. Free access. This is a free access class. You guys can go to this site and have free access. Learn how to do this yourself. Frankenmail. There's also birth certificates and social security accounts. It's great information on birth certificates and social security, how it works. Free access. Feed the Fam is a free access. And As Above, So Below is a free access. And like I said, this is tired of the rising price of food. Discover that those prices are not for people who need sustenance to live. There are buttons on those machines in these stores that you could go in and set up a prior account that they will hit a button and you get coupon discount automatic. A gentleman announces his presence. If you want equity, you must first come with equity. If you don't want to be treated like a bitch-ass slave, you have to go in and talk to them like a real man and let them know what the truth of it is. You only have certain things that you can use to access those store items. In that, it's being presumed that you're an agent and that you are in commerce at the time, and you're not. In commerce means that you're literally involved in the contract as a continuation. When you're just stopping into the store to get food, that's not in commerce. You're making a purchase, and that purchase is changing all the documentation and including you in that contract as if though you're an employee of the store. You're not. This is all these courses help explain that stuff. It goes down to the language. And then we have these are premium courses, unlicensed, and I don't give a fuck. Remember those plates? It's not only that you don't need a license plate, you don't need a license and registration either. Remember, we just recently talked about the registration, owner removal from program or owner withdrawal from the program. And that program is a motor vehicle theft prevention program where you're supposed to register that motor vehicle because you're using it on state business and the state owns it and you claimed tax ownership in exchange. When you read all these contracts and everything and find out what they're really about, you can understand how to pose this stuff to them so that you don't get those tickets. Or that if you do get the ticket, you can go to court or present a notice to the court that, hey, it doesn't apply. Here's why. Cancel CPS. Those people have no right to be in your business. Ain't no reason to be in your family. None. And I'm vehement about this. They destroy the families. Come check it out. Learn about those Title 4D contracts and how to bust them. Piercing that corporate veil. Because that's all they are, is corporate entities. And that's all they're supposed to affect is corporate entities. They're never supposed to step foot into your private home. Undue income tax. The taxes are voluntary. Congress shall lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises. And every last one of those is a tax. An impost is a tax. A duty is a tax. An excise is a tax. They're all levies. Pigpen want to control the municipal agents. You know, those nice little officers with the blue costumes and the nice shiny badges, and the local people that think they have authority over you because they wrote some shit down on a piece of paper. Learn how to beat them too, because that's a policy. It's not law. They're adoptions. You know, this CPS, that whole program is all about foster children and adoptions. They're not supposed to be stepping into your life if that's your biological child and your biological mommy or a biological daddy. They ain't supposed to be touching you. They ain't even supposed to be talking to you. Money talk, learning about how this money works. What is money? You know, in prison, they have ducats or cigarettes or pound cakes or Twinkies or ramen noodles. Those are all forms of money. Medium of exchange. Anything you can exchange one thing for another and between two people and have an agreement that they're of equal value is money. I can take a blank piece of paper, write my terms down, hand it over to John. That's money. Property tax terminator. Again, with the taxes. See, if you have a property and they have you paying taxes, it's because you're supposed to be running a business on that property. If you are living in a home and you don't run a business out of that property, out of that home, and you're paying property taxes, that's stupid. That's just dumb. That's a business enterprise that's supposed to pay taxes. And if you ain't paying, or if you ain't running a business out of that building, then you ain't supposed to be paying taxes. You're supposed to be using that building, again, like we talked about Feed the Fam, as a matter of necessity. It's not taxable. Beat the bar. Throwing them right out of the courtroom. The bar attorneys and the judges. Having them recused and dismissed. Sorry. People reading their these notices that we send them in emails. People getting up at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, opening up these emails numerous times, sitting there biting their nails because they don't know what to do. Chevron doctrine overturned last month. You know, where all these decades of these administrators in these courts saying, well, we get to use our opinion, and according to our opinion, you're guilty. You are. No, it doesn't matter. Resident, you are a resident. You do have to have a license. No, you don't. That's all false. You show me one law that says I am required to have a license or an identification. There's no such thing. And that's what we're putting to these people. The minimum birth registration standards, they're not met. So all the way back to the enumeration at birth, that entire record is false. Name versus calling. Because at the enumeration at birth, they took the given name, which is that first name that belongs to you. And they took the family name, which is the last name that follows everybody that's born into that family. Those are two distinct things. And they combined them into one thing called a legal name by translation, and translated the given name to a first name and the family name to a last name, combining them together, creating a legal name, which is a fiction. Free utilities, you know, again, that's that necessity of life. If you have a house, but you don't have any running water or gas or any heat source or anything like that, it doesn't do you much good, does it? So the utilities are a contracting situation, again, where you're not supposed to purchase, as in enter into the contract, but as a benefactor, a third party that's supposed to benefit from that. National defense that provides the domestic tranquility, that provides the general welfare, the necessities of life. And that's in the preamble, folks. Rent-free, same thing. You're not supposed to be paying for this house. Mortgage-free. You know that's a fraud when you go to the bank. Two classes here. Slay the servicer and class 1, and slay the servicer class 2. And what we're talking about here is when you go to the bank and you get a loan, but then they have you sign certain documents that ends up with a mortgage and a servicer. Those are two different contracts, and you just got duped. That's fraud. See, the loan isn't the bank loaning you money. It's you signing a document saying that they get to go to the discount window and use your name. That's lending of your name. You lend them the documentation of your name so they can go to the discount window and get the discount, and then they come back and say, okay, we're going to give you your credits without telling you they're your credits. We're going to give you the credits for this home. But now, since we gave you those credits, you owe us a monthly deposit. When you learn this stuff, you learn how to separate it out. Mortgage-free, fend foreclosure. Now, this is when they get to the foreclosure stage and they don't have that title because they sold it. That promissory note, yeah, they sold it. They can't bring it forward with the attached documentation. So you beat them in foreclosure because they can't bring it forth. They can't bring the necessary evidence that they have rights an entitlement to the property. Mortgage-free acquiring shelter. And all three of these have to do with HUD. When they're rent-free, getting in and evading eviction. Excuse me, all four of these. Mortgage-free, slay the servicer. Mortgage-free, fend foreclosure. And mortgage-free acquiring shelter. See, it's HUD and the Housing and Urban Development that has to condemn the land of its natural use, saying there is no viable natural use. And now they condemn it, and now it's zoned for commercial use. So when you go in and you rent that, you're not in your natural use out of necessity. You're under a rental agreement for your business. It's that simple. And then there's sue-along and ticket terminator. Sue-along is when they bring false claims, you can make a counterclaim. And the ticket terminator is, like I said earlier, when they give you a ticket alongside the road, don't worry about it. You got other ways of handling it. You don't have to go to court. You can do it through the mail. So let's take a look. We got, like I said, we had theological introspection was in yesterday. Didn't realize it wasn't until today. And we got Tribe, Logical Spark, Laura, Based Oracle, Jason Crapo, John Harnick, 5-Speed, Laura. Greetings, everybody. Carrie Lynn, Mary Bagnashi. Greetings, greetings, greetings. It says, let's see here. A lot of greetings. The right to be let alone, secured by the Fourth Amendment, is considered the most comprehensive right and valued most to those in the civilized world. That is Ogden versus Ogden. Let me see here. Pull up my site. Olmsted versus U.S. Olmsted versus U.S. The right to be let alone, the most comprehensive of rights and the right most valued by civilized men. To protect that right, every unjustifiable intrusion by the government upon the privacy of the individual, whatever the means employed, must be deemed a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Olmsted versus U.S., 1928. There we go. On my website, the very first page, you go to Wyrd Wise Warrior, and it's got the disclaimer, UPU disclaimer and copyright. You go down here, and it is unjustifiable intrusion. And then, of course, you saw unlicensed and I don't give a fuck, right? Let's take a look at that.
Now repeat after me. I'm unlicensed and I don't give a fuck.
I'm unlicensed and I don't give a fuck.
Licensed. That's terrible.
This is one of my favorite clips, guys, because the audacity of somebody demanding anybody else have a license is fucking lunacy.
Again?
Give it another shot.
I'm unlicensed.
There you go.
I don't give a fuck. I'm unlicensed and I don't give a fuck. Robust!
Robust. One last time, gentlemen. I want to hear everybody in the audience. I want to hear every last one of you. I'm unlicensed and I don't give a fuck. So, let's see here. Yeah. If you go to freedomfromgovernment.org, freedomfromgovernment as one word.org, freedomfromgovernment.org. It is down in the details section. That one might have a login attached to it, but you should be able to go to freedomfromgovernment.org and go through there, and there's a place to sign in and log up, or log in and sign up. No, I'm not wearing one of the shirts right now. There is bar. I'm wearing Jesus, just praise him right now. But there is beat the bar, and we'll go back to it here. There is beat the bar, and has your sheriff even read the Constitution? So let's take a look at it. And go here, look at the shirts, and there is the beat the bar one. It just says and this is an embroidered one. Okay, folks, for the price, this is it's a very well put together shirt, and you have to, and notice it says from 0 on up. You have to talk to Malika. This is on a donation basis. Make a deal with Malika. That's what this site is all about. It's about learning how to contract with each other and making these private deals. Now, you'd be surprised to find out that Malika might be willing to take some of your own homemade or home harvested herbs and spices in exchange for a shirt. Think, people. This is not what you think it is. It's a learning and growing platform, and we're hopefully showing people how to learn and grow in that aspect of money. Anything can be literally used as money. You don't need their fiat currency in documented form to be able to deal with your neighbors. And the other one is, does your sheriff even read the Constitution? Does your sheriff even read the Constitution? You know, they take an oath to it. They better read it. And I'm telling you folks right here and now, if you want to use that kind of junk in these courts or in your conversations with these people, you damn well better know that Constitution yourself. The plates, like I said, Trent James Goodbody's been doing this for a number of years and selling these plates, and you can still go through and check it out and get these plates. And there's a no trespass notice as well. You can get a signed no trespass notice. The plates themselves have a definitive amount. You have to pay for those. Okay? And again, this is just an expression. This doesn't give you license to go around babbling. This is an expression. You have to know how to hold that expression true and proper. That if you're going to be traveling privately and not for commercial use, then you better be able to uphold that more than what says so on this plate. You have to be able to speak it. The books. He's got 3 books out. And like I said, the first one was freedomfromgovernment.org. Freedom from Government. And now we're having issues with the acting with honor and as king. See, we're not getting something shifted here. So we're not getting the top of the books here. So we'll have to mention that to her. And then statist delusions. And like I said, these are James Trent Goodbody's books. He is the author, so they go by a certain set price for him. Okay? You want to give Malika a little extra value, you can throw her a little extra, but I believe these dollar amounts are for James Trent Goodbody's price. Consultations. There's a group of us. This is Malika, our lawful living amnesty cure team. Attorney tiers, judge disqualifications, reading comprehension. And like I said, that's what it's about, folks, being able to read. We have a literal 7th or 8th grade reading comprehension as an average for the American citizen, and that's pathetic. We have Lene as a document review. She will review your documents and check for conciseness and everything. Samaya, beating the bar and mortgage, specializing in beating the bar members and those mortgages. Trinity, general guidance and assistance across the board. Very knowledgeable in many different things and can help you in discernment through many topics. Myself, for the administrative process, I tend to think I'm more like Trinity. I will help with other things, but I prefer to use the administrative process. Matthew 18, verse 15 through 20 of the King James Version of the Bible. Read it. That is your ability to defeat these people by bringing the truth to them in private first. If they deny it, then you go and you get a second witness and do it again. If they deny that, then you bring your witness to the world. And then there's C. Wayne for evictions. He's much like me and Trinity across the board in many things, but he's specializing evictions, trading brigade. Hassan, concept correction for everything. Again, like Trinity across the board, he's going to help with correcting things across the board. If you're dealing with a license or a school registration or a hospital bill or a utility bill or anything like that, he's going to give you concept correction. Then we have Rich Mang for debt collection. These third-party debt collectors come after you for some kind of debt. This man will drop down a one-page piece of document for you that is easy to comprehend, and this is why I urge you guys to get involved. It is easy to comprehend. Once you have it in front of you and you can see how it works, you start using it, and it's like a bike. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And I guarantee you, you're going to be like these guys one day. When somebody asks you, you're going to be able to say, oh, well, it's this, this, this. Just write down, and it's going to be done and over with. You have to have the comprehension, though. Don't come in here babbling. And I tell people all the time, you have to unlearn what you've been taught and relearn. Go get yourself a concise English handbook, a college composition handbook, and a King James Version of the Bible, and start all over if you have to. Then we have McReal, Charles McReal. He's a clown. I love the guy. Administrative process and judge disqualification. No games, no frills. McReal. So the last one is the all access, which is just the groups that we went over again. And it's not going to, it's not working here from these clicks. So you have to go up here and use the classes up here to get to the classes. But it's all these classes here, and I believe there's 16 of them, 15 of them. Four free access, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's 5 free access. Name calling is free access. I'm sorry. So there are 5 free access groups, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 others. So there's 19 classes altogether. There's 14 that you need to talk to Malika and give some kind of compensation for, and then there's 5 free access classes. Jump up there, go check it out. Check out the free access classes. Like I said, they're free access. Check out the information. And don't believe me, don't believe Malika, don't believe Charles McReal, don't believe the government, don't believe your mother. Do your research so you know. And that's why we have sites like this, so we can correlate the information together. That's why we need to come together. Yeah, the spoken word flies, the written letter remains, and actions will always speak louder than both. People tend to remember whether it's written down or spoken or not. People will tend to remember your actions. And no matter what was really said or written down, they will interpret them and transliterate them themselves according to their own opinions. That's why I say don't let anybody else write your story with their book or with their pen. The lawful living class is posted on Freedom from Government website. Like I said, there's 5 free access. You get totally free access. Go in, check them out. If they intrigue you, that's what we're hoping. We're hoping those 5 free access classes will intrigue you enough to looking and doing that research. Like I said, don't believe. Do a little bit of research. Do some reading comprehension and think about it. And get with us. We do meetings, Zoom meetings, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for various different levels. We get together, 70, 80, 100 of us, Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, getting together in Zoom classes for lawful living. And then we post those Zoom classes on lawful living. Everything we go through on a daily basis is in that group. Residence is a military business location, yes. And yes, learn to challenge their presumption, because that's all they are. Legal fiction is a presumption of the facts presented to the court. And they stand until they're properly rebutted. So the presumption is law. Understand that. The legal fiction, which is a presumption of the facts, stands in law until rebutted. So somebody can sit there and make that accusation in the court of law, and it's going to stand until you rebut it. How does that go against the thing about you bring the accusation, you have the preponderance of the proof. You're supposed to bring the proof. Well, a man is bound by his word, so all he's got to do is say it, and somebody's going to believe it. That's the catch-22 in those proceedings. Yes. When you learn this stuff, you can't stop. You see the fraud everywhere. Do you pay for shelter or utilities or for food purchases? Yes, at the current time, I still do, because I haven't settled the estate, so that I could bring forth a document to the like the local grocery store and say, okay, every time I come in and use this card, you're supposed to use this button on your machine. They don't want to use that button unless they have a contract. So a regular customer can't come in and use it. They have to have a special card, those government access cards. You know, there has to have some kind of special disability or something. So that's what we're working at. There are exceptions. They're just not allowing us those exceptions because we haven't found the right way to express it. Once we express that exception, then it's part of that system. They're already in place. You just have to learn how to use them. So with the utilities, see, there's already a bill in place, and that utility is already supposed to be paid for. What they do is they issue a second billing party. That's you. When you sign the rental agreement, now all of a sudden you become a second billing party, where they get to transfer to you the obligation of payment, because you transferred to them on signing the lease without realizing it, the rights, titles, and interest in the name that you used. Just like you go to the bank and you fill out that documentation, you lended them the name. They get to use the name at the discount window. You lent them the name on that documentation. They get to use it the way they want in their documentation and claim that you're the agent and you're obligated. Don't let them do that. Yes, learn to apply logic and reason. Absolutely. And with that, we come to the end of the stream. I hope everybody found this informative. Check out the details section. All my profiles and links are down there. You're going to find freedomfromgovernment.org on there, and that's an open access 5 classes up there to help intrigue you enough to get you to wonder what you've been doing wrong. Because like the rest of us in that group, we're all admitting we're the bitch-ass slaves. We're the fucking fools. Had we taken the time to have patience, to slow down and read this stuff for what it is, we'd have learned a lot sooner. And that's the importance. Feed a man for a day if you give him a fish. But if you teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. If you want to feed your children, you don't just keep giving them fish. You teach them to fish. That way, when they leave your home, they aren't dependent on somebody else to give them a fish. They can go out and feed themselves. So think about this stuff. And remember, folks, I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. That's to say, I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. And that's on you. So may God bless you and have a good day. Bye now.